Hi everyone, this is Kelly with Kelly Ann Crafts. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and today we're going to do some of our February cards, and we're going to look at stuff that is in, some of this is going to be from our Stampin' Up celebration. So what celebration is if you were to purchase $50 worth of product, you can receive some free product with it. And we are going to be using some of that free product today, and maybe some of the stamps later on, to show what can be made with some of the free product. Usually it's an order of $50, and then you get something free. Or in the back here, there's some really nice things that if you have an order, let's say you had an order of $150, you could get this stamp set for free and then the dies that go with it. So what we're going to look at today is we use this one paper that is in this catalog. And it is called the Sunny Days paper, and this is it right here, and it was free with a $50 purchase. And I just want to show you what the paper looks like. So the first one, now you can see that this is smaller. It's because this is our first card is made out of this paper, and then the other side of it is in the petal pink, and this is Poppy Parade. And I just wanted to show you the papers because I think they're a little bit prettier when you can see them when they're not in the catalog. So this is a green floral, with the flip side being, it looks like green, I don't know, rainbows. I mean, this would be kind of a fun paper for St. Patrick's Day. And then there's clouds. This goes with this one stamp set or bundle that is in the mini catalog, and that stamp set is called the Bright Skies Bundle. And there are dies that will cut out all of these clouds for you. In the flip side to this page is a cloudy and then a rainy page. So you can have clouds in one or you can have a rainy one. If you cut this out just right, you can make that look like watermelons. That's how I think. Then we have butterflies. This is in the wild wheat color. And then the flip side to this is strawberries. So on this side we've got the Poppy Parade, we've got the, I can hardly talk, sorry, the petal pink, and then we've got the gold again. So it's a lot of fun. This one is a geometric, but if you look at it really careful, it's actually little sunshines. And then the flip side is a floral. And then one of our last papers is this beautiful cherries. I love this paper, and we are going to be making a card out of this cherries in my next video. And then this is the other side that is in Pool Party. So let me show you what we're going to make today. I just have to find where I set it because I was so efficient. I put it someplace safe. So we are going to make this card, and this is our envelope that goes with it. Okay, this is what the flip side of the envelope looks like. And then the inside of the card looks like this. Okay, here we use the designer series paper, and I used an embossing folder, some dies, and let me show you which tools I used first. I used this embossing die. Well, it's not a die, it's a folder, and it's called the Layered Florals. And I'm going to put a list of these items in the description of the video. I use the Thoughtful Expression dies, these over here, to do this. And the stamp that I actually used for the Happy Mother's Day came out of the Stippled Rose. This happens to be in the mini catalog, the new mini catalog, and it is a die set, but I just loved the script here for a Mother's Day card, so that's what I used here. So let's get started with making this card. If you received a packet from me, this packet is going to have, of course, your envelope. Inside, you'll have the contents of your card, and it's going to be the outside card base, which is in a basic white, and it is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then we will have an outside piece that is our designer series paper that will end up on here. And this is 4 by 5 1/4. You will also have in red a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of paper for the inside of your card. Along with that, you will have a piece that is, I believe this is, it is 3 1/2 by, let me think about this, 3 1/2, I better measure it real quick, 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. That'll get layered on here, and this is all the inside right here. Oops. Will get layered on the inside, and then just a little bit of the designer series paper. Now you can make it go all the way across, or you can, in the card sample that I made it smaller so it would look like it was layered in there. It's just to bring the front to the inside of your card, and coordinate it that way. And you should have one piece of embossed white with these beautiful flowers and your sentiment piece. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do some stamping, and let me get that put together here. I'm going to stamp my envelope, and I'm also going to stamp this, and I'm going to be using Poppy Parade up, and I have my stamps all ready for me, and I always use this piece of scrap paper underneath. I know it sounds funny, but just in case, I like to keep the piece I'm working on as clean as possible, so while I'm filming, you guys don't have to look at my messy paper. But, you know, if you don't mind my messy paper, I don't mind it either. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this. Now, depending upon what you want, there's little, I don't know if you can see this, there's a rounded part and a little part. You can make anything your up and down. So you can either be the big bump or the little bump. And I put things at an angle when I stamp. It's only so I can get it straight. If you're better at going straight on, please do. Use whatever is right for you. I also put my stamps usually on my blocks at an angle. That's how much of an angle person I am. So I'm going to stamp this here, and it's just straight down, straight up, and then if it sticks, you just pop it with your finger underneath, and there you go. That looks pretty straight. If I were putting that on there, that looks pretty good. So I shall put that to the side, and then I am going to stamp my flowers on my envelope. Now, I love to have envelopes that have something on them. Everybody knows it's a card from me when they see the envelope, I think, pretty much. But it's just a nice way to personalize it and make it your own. So on this, I did one in the middle, one to the right, and one to the left. And I know I stamped them opposite of what I said, but that's okay. You get the idea. And I think pretty much our stamping is done for this particular card. So I will put this aside. Red takes a hot minute to dry, so I try to let that one dry a little bit. I'm going to put it off the camera here just a minute. And let me get down some dimensionals, because we're going to need those here in a minute. And I'm going to put together my inside, and then we'll work on our outside. Okay, so, and I know this is going to seem funny, but even though this is a white piece of paper with nothing on it, I always flip them over. You think I know the right side or the wrong side of it. I don't really need that anymore, so I'll take that out of the way. I'm going to use my seal, and I do my little Z thing. It's a Z pattern. I know it sounds silly, but it seems to work the best for me, and if I'm feeling like I want a little bit more oomph, I just put a little bit on either side there. And I'm good. This is going to have approximately a 1/4 inch around it. So when it looks like it's pretty straight, it's not very straight. And before I set it down all the way, I can lift it back up because I'm pretty good at this. I do it so much. And if you just don't do it too fast, you can lift it back up. Okay. Let's go in here again and see if we can get it straight. I think that's straighter. That looks better to me. Okay. And if in doubt, just take your bone folder and just go over it one more time like this. Now, my decision has to be, do I want this to be just a little bit shorter and staggered? I happen to like the staggered look. This piece is a 4-inch piece, but I believe in my other card it was not 4 inches. I think it was more like 3 1/4, but let's just measure it and see. It was actually 3 1/4. So there we go, 3 1/4. So I'm going to go over here and figure out 3 1/4. When I'm using this, I can use this as measurement. Also, the glass mat that I have that I'm working on is also got it down here, probably out of camera view. So anyways, I'm just going to mark 3 1/4 on here with a pencil. Had a pencil over here, just so I know where it is real quick. I could get out my cutting, or I could just take snips and snip it. It's just such a little amount that I can pretty much just go straight up and cut that off. And now I'll just adhere that to my inside piece. Now this card, I've got Happy Mother's Day on it, but it really could be Valentine's Day if you wanted it to be. Again, because I went about 1/4 of an inch smaller than the width of the white. I'm just going to do an 1/8 of an inch layer there. And that's my inside, so let me put that inside the actual card base itself. And here's where you see you can kind of see what I've done here. It looks like a Z. It is my Z pattern. I'm so much into that Z. Oh, one thing before we put that down, before you adhere your card together, always make sure you go and give this a good crease so you have a nice crisp edge on one side. When I make the kits, I don't always make it. I don't use the bone folder on them yet, so I let you do that. I like to share some of the fun with you. Okay, there we go. That's my inside. And now we're going to put the outside together. And this is a pretty simple card, actually. The embossing just gives it some dimension. It's bringing a floral element in when for this. I like that a lot. And you can decide which flower you want to be up. I mean, I don't know. It's such a beautiful paper. And I really wanted to use this side of it. I don't know, because it's Valentine's coming up, I kind of like that. And then for this, you can put this anywhere you want on the card. Now I put it here because my flower's up here, but I may put this one down here and then put the Mother's Day up here, and I think that's what I'm going to do with this, just because of where it is. Now you can see that I had stamped on the back of this before I embossed it, and that's just me not wasting paper. I used it for something else. The other side was perfectly white and perfectly okay. So depending upon where the embossing is and what you want to highlight. In this one, the flower, like I say, is up here, and I like the bigger flower, so I'm going to probably put my sentiment right in this area. And I think it comes out looking just fine. We'll know in a minute as soon as I find my sentiment. Let me get some dimensionals for this. Now, I am a dimensional junkie. I will tell you that much. I put on more dimensionals than the average bear, but for $4, it gives me a lot of fun. Well, I think they're 4 1/4. I think they're 4 1/4. But either way, it's still pretty cheap fun. Cheap as chips, as they would say. Cheap as chips, and I enjoy doing these, and I love trying to figure out where's the next place I am going to find these little backings for these. So I'm just going to put this right up here. And I don't know. Maybe what we need to do is have a poll on which one you liked first. If you have a comment on how you liked this, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to find out which one was more pleasurable to look at. I think they both are a lot of fun. And this could easily, if you don't have a Mother's Day, this could be a thinking of you. This could be a happy to see you, hello, just a note type of a card. It really is very user friendly. It's just whatever you stamp on this. Thank you for joining me today and have a great day.